Hey, it's Josie with Affirmation Pod, your home for affirmations and positive self-talk. Thank you for joining me today. Welcome to new listeners. Welcome back to returning listeners. Today's episode was inspired by those of you who listened to another podcast. I'll read a DM on Instagram. Hi, Josie, longtime listener here. You're doing a great job with the podcast. I'm wondering if you could do an episode on our inner best friend. It is an opposing voice to our inner critic. I got the idea from Yoga Girl, and I am working on strengthening mine. And so Yoga Girl, her name is Rachel Brathen, has a podcast called From the Heart, and something really connected with so many of you when she published a recording when she was doing a yoga teacher's training of all the participants sharing what their inner critic says and what their inner BFF says. And thank you to those of you who sent in screenshots so I could hear the episodes as well. They were published on July 20th, 2018 and July 27th, 2018. One's an hour and a half long, one's over an hour and a half long. So allot yourself some time if you want to listen to them. I listened. So powerful, so moving. I don't know Rachel or any of the 52 women featured in those two episodes, but you're going to be hard pressed to find a podcast episode. Actually, this one became 2 podcast episodes where women are showing up not just with openness and transparency, but genuine vulnerability. Psychologists vary in the number of thoughts that they say we have per day. It can go from 30,000 to 50,000. I used to do presentations on thought management, and one of the visualizations I would give is to picture yourself in a large coliseum or stadium. The big football stadium where I live holds about 54,000 people. And so picturing every seat represents a thought that goes through your mind, and taking a good look at which ones you want to stay and which ones need to be replaced. A different message, a different voice needs to sit there. So this episode is on managing your inner critic and embracing your inner BFF. It is free for you to listen. It is not free for me to create. So I want to thank Green Chef, which is now owned by HelloFresh, for sponsoring this episode. Green Chef is a USDA certified organic company. They give you a wide variety of organic ingredients so that you can easily cook delicious meals that you can feel so good about. I've heard a lot about keto-friendly meals, so lately I've been getting the keto boxes. They've got everything covered, including keto-friendly salad dressings, sauces, and seasonings. Everything comes pre-measured, perfectly portioned, and almost totally prepped. And they don't just have keto. They have paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, omnivore, and carnivore meal plans as well. They totally deliver on flavor. Trying to think of my favorite recipe because they're all so good. Well, actually, I'm a person who loves breakfast. So anytime breakfast can be dinner, I'm all in. And so when they had a dinner version of a frittata, what can I say? I gobbled it up. It was so yummy. Green Chef has a special offer for Affirmation Pod listeners. It's $50 off your first Green Chef box. And that $50 off applies whether you're picking a paleo, vegan, vegetarian, keto, gluten-free, omnivore, or carnivore box. And you can redeem this offer by going to greenchef.us/affirmation. That's a .us site. This is a great deal. $50 off your first box of Green Chef when you go to greenchef.us/affirmation. Your order also helps keep the mic on here at Affirmation Pod. So thank you so much. Enjoy the meals. And so now here's affirmations and positive self-talk for managing your inner critic and embracing your inner BFF. I have so many thoughts every day. Minute to minute, moment to moment, I'm experiencing thoughts. I am the thinker. I am not the thought. Just like I am the eater. I am not the food. I can choose which thoughts get to stay. I choose which thoughts can just pass on by. Not every thought is true. Not every thought is truth. Not every thought is to be believed. Not every thought is trustworthy. And when I get tangled up in a thought, and the thought seems to be getting the best of me, eating away at me, and I can't find my footing, I recognize it, I become aware of it, I catch myself in that moment, and instead, I can do single nostril breathing, I can do tapping, I can do yoga. When I need to redirect myself, I can journal. I can meditate. I can get present in my body, feeling my feet and their position, becoming aware of my hands, any tension there, noticing the space around my head. I'm able to see my thoughts there, but remain in my core, my soul, the spirit of who I am. I can direct my thoughts to my body. I can shift my attention to the present moment. I get to know my inner critic. I am learning why my inner critic is here. I take a good look at why my inner critic started showing up. I identify the thoughts that represents voices in my childhood. Yeah, I heard so many messages as a child and as a teenager and as an adult. Some I internalized, and now I need to externalize. My core beliefs speak messages to me all day long. Beliefs about my self-worth, my abilities, my behavior. And it's time for me to shift some of these beliefs so they represent who I am today. It's time for me to shift some of these messages to represent what I am today. I am doing the work of thought management. I am not my thoughts. My thoughts don't own me. My thoughts are losing their power over me. My thoughts can challenge me, but my thoughts do not overrule me. I have the right to live mentally free. I have the power to live mentally strong. I have the strength to stay mentally fit. I know vulnerable moments will come when I could certainly say demeaning things to myself, but I am now practicing positive self-talk. I'm preparing myself to let my inner BFF come in. When I'm knocked off my feet, I can coach myself through it with encouraging messages, with supportive messages, with loving messages. I can see and name my inner critic. I can speak directly to my inner critic. I can voice my authority over my inner critic. I can connect with my inner BFF. I can open space for my inner BFF to speak. I receive my inner BFF's love. I receive my inner BFF's support. I receive my inner BFF's encouragement. I recognize when negative self-talk is trying to interrupt me and my BFF with lies. And my inner BFF and I remind that voice its words are not true, and that this is time with me and my inner BFF. I know how to stand up to the thoughts that aren't helpful. I know how to face the thoughts that want to bring me down. I know how to deal with the ones that create anxiety and fear. Look, I am outgrowing negative self-talk. I am evolving into this new version of myself. I can handle whatever thoughts come my way. I let go of old stories. I let go of old messages. I let go of old beliefs about myself. I receive a new way of thinking. I receive a new way of believing. I receive a new way of living. My thoughts are full of amazing messages that uplift me, that affirm me, that build me up. I am the thinker. I am the observer of my thoughts. I am me, and I love me. That is my gift for you today. This episode and all episodes of Affirmation Pod are available without the intros, without the outros for Access members. And Access members, you can find this one in the self-care section. I also have a bonus episode for Access members only. It's not available on this podcast. It's a guided visualization for more inner BFFs. It walks you through what I talked about in the intro of this episode, where you take the stage of a room. It doesn't have to be a stadium. It doesn't have to be a coliseum. It's up to you to visualize what works for you, what fits for you. And in the visualization, you release certain voices out of their seats so that more inner BFFs can sit and be those thoughts that come through your mind every day. When I was working on this visualization, I remembered a quote I wrote down like 10 years ago. I'd read it in a book. It's from the actress Camryn Manheim. And she said, if someone treated your best friend as badly as you treated yourself, you'd kick their butt. Okay, I'm not quoting it exactly because that last word is actually a different word, but I'll say it again. If someone treated your best friend as badly as you treat yourself, you'd kick their butt. So let's treat ourselves better. The guided visualization for more BFFs is available for Access members in the self-care section, but it's also, of course, in the guided visualizations section. If you are not an Access member and you want to join, I'd love to have you there. You can sign up by going to affirmationpod.com/access. That's affirmationpod.com/access. I'm so grateful you're here with me today. I'm also grateful for Green Chef sponsoring this episode. Again, your orders help keep the mic on here at Affirmation Pod. And I love that Green Chef is giving Affirmation Pod listeners $50 off your first box of Green Chef. The website, again, is greenchef.us/affirmation. It is a .us site. There's no promo code. You need to go to greenchef.us/affirmation to place your order. Please enjoy your meals, and let's all embrace our inner BFF. Now, go be you, know you, and love you. This is Josie with Affirmation Pod. Bye for now.
This has been a Calm Clear Now Network production. Executive producer Shell Hamilton. To discover more meditation, visualization, and affirmation podcasts like this one, visit calmclearnow.com.